Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can. In the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Every day, we rise, challenging ourselves to work for what we believe in. At U.S. Border Patrol, protecting our borders is more than a job. It's a calling. Agents answer the call, working together to keep our country and communities safe. If you are ready for a new mission, join U.S. Border Patrol and go beyond. Learn more at cbp.gov/careers.
All right, before we get started today, I want to give a big shout out to all the Patreon subscribers and members over there. Patreon is a way for people to be able to help financially support the podcast. There's 4 different levels of patronage over there that you can check out. And they all come with their own entitlements and privileges, if you will. But, you know, some of the things that all the members get, early access to episodes. I'm going to do some special bonus content that's only for Patreon subscribers. We do giveaways. We give away stuff from Chop Ahead and also other show sponsors and whatnot. We tell you who's coming up on deck and ahead of time so people can ask questions and participate that way. And it's just a rad thing. And I truly appreciate from the bottom of my heart all the Patreon subscribers. It really helps the show keep going and growing. And so I thank you for that. And if you're interested, go check it out, patreon.com/bigtruth. And I'd love to welcome you aboard over there. Now, if you're looking for motorcycle parts for your old or new motorcycle, you need to go check out Old Bike Barn at oldbikebarn.com. They got whatever you need, whether it's for a stock bike or a cafe racer or a chopper or some other kind of custom. Go check them out at oldbikebarn.com. They also got their own line of leather goods and knives under the name White Knuckler. Good stuff, good people. Bear is a pillar in the industry and a friend. And, you know, just go check them out, especially if you got an old Japanese bike. They got the rare stuff that not a lot of other places have. So check them out, oldbikebarn.com or on Instagram at oldbikebarn. Now, if you find yourself wanting to get into some CBD, whether you got some swelling or, you know, joint pain or torn muscles from the gym, any kind of inflammation, or whether it's just for helping sleep or anxiety, things like that, you need to check out Cradle Lake Clear because there's so many different CBD manufacturers now, and a lot of it's just bullshit. You want to go to someone like Cradle Lake Clear where you can go on their website and get the whole rundown. They use all the best organic and clean ingredients, and their processes are par none. So check them out, cradlelakeclear.com. If you use the promo code BigTruth at checkout, you get 20% off your order there. And I use there's like a mint chocolate one, and or a blueberry one, and I use that before I go to sleep and sleep like a fucking baby. So check them out at cradlelakeclear.com. Remember, use promo code BigTruth at checkout, and you will get 20% off your order there. And while we're talking about 20% off, go check out Omerta at omertamia.com. Christmas and holidays are coming. Whatever holiday it is you personally like or celebrate or observe, if there's a gift-giving tradition, go to omertamia.com and check out their whole line of wares, most legit streetwear / lifestyle brand that there is. Whether you need a hoodie, t-shirt, scarf, whatever, socks, they got everything, jackets, whatever. Check them out, omertamia.com, omertamia.com, and give rad gifts. I know they got all kinds of specials going on right now, and I'm sure they'll have more as the holidays proceed. So make sure you check them out, omertamia.com, on Instagram and all the social media, simply at omertamia. If you happen to be in the unfortunate situation where you're in a motorcycle accident, you need to check out Law Tigers at lawtigers.com. And if you go on Facebook and type in Law Tigers in the state that you reside in, you will get in touch with the local regional office there. So if you need to If you live in Massachusetts, go to Facebook and type in Law Tigers Massachusetts, and you get in touch with the Law Tiger that is local to you. It's a motorcycle accident law firm that was founded by riders for riders. Hope you never need that sponsor, but if you do, it's good to have them in your back pocket. So if some shit happens, some bullshit happens, some distracted drivers texting and being a fucking idiot and hit you, go check out lawtigers.com. If you were into weird stuff, you know, you're more attracted to the dark arts or weird shit, cult, serial killers. But you also have a penchant for like motor stuff, like choppers and old 70s boogie vans and show vans and shit like that. Then my boy Zach has a clothing company and a lifestyle company that's right up your alley. It's called Heavy, and you can check them out at heavy.bigcartel.com. All kinds of clothing and nefarious wares for your life, you know, and on Instagram at Heavy Clothing. So Heavy Clothing on Instagram, heavy.bigcartel.com is where you need to go. What am I forgetting here? I'm going through all these fast. While you're looking for clothing, go check out Pitchfork at pitchforkny.com. This isn't an operation, just by the way, I'm not talking about a murder. I'm talking about me reading these commercials. I'm not reading anything. I'm just making the shit up out of thin air and just remembering. And because these are all companies I know and support. Most of them are friends of mine. So I don't have any script or anything written down that I'm going through. That's why I might stumble through these sometimes. Maybe I should write something up so I can keep it going a little quicker. But that's just an aside for those, you know, for those that are listening. But yeah, but if you check out Pitchfork at pitchforkny.com, they're a mainstay clothing company and also record label in the punk, hardcore, and metal genres of music. And they do these compilations. That's the best way to say it. They do a 7-inch series called the Back to School series that has an East Coast band on one side and a West Coast band on the other, bands like Rancid and Murphy's Law and whatnot. And they just did a New York hardcore compilation LP. So you need to check all that out. And on top of that, they got over a decade of fucking rad clothing. So all kinds of shit there. Go pitchforkny.com. If you are looking for more information on motorcycling in any way, shape, form, or manner, whatever type of motorcycles or motorcycling you're into, whether it's choppers or whatever, you need to check out Chop Cult at chopcult.com. They're the biggest information clearinghouse and message board setup that there is. It's totally free for this, right? So you sign in, you're making a profile, you sign on. They don't ask you your credit card or none of that shit. You just get on. And then you just go and mine for information because there's all kinds of message boards all broken up by topic, so it's super easy to navigate. They also have an online swap meet where you can buy, sell, and trade parts. They also have an online events page where you can look for motorcycle-related events by date, by region, by country, by state. It's all there. They also do... They'll send you. They got a store, you know, where they sell their own apparel and products of other people that are supporters. And you know, they do an email, so they can just give you an email blast with a digest with some of the more interesting curated stories for that time period. So check them out, chopcult.com, on all the social media, simply at chopcult. You can always welcome to come down to my shop, Chopperhead Custom Cycles. We're at 13 County Road in East Freetown, Massachusetts. We're a full brick and mortar motorcycle shop. We got a big garage in the back, and we got a showroom and parts counter up front. And, it's way better to be able to come into a place, try on a helmet, try on a vest, try on a hoodie or something, know your exact size and not guess and have to buy shit online and wait and get it in and send it back because you got the wrong size and blah, blah, blah. So come on in, and any parts you need for your motorcycle, we got it. If we don't have it in stock, we can get it. If it's not on our website, we can get it. Just give us a call or shoot us an email. And if you need work done on your bike, we can do whatever you need, whether you need an oil change or you need a full custom chopper built, anything in between, speed work, audio work, motor rebuilds, whatever. Give us a call, 508-995-6764, or come by or visit the website, chopperhead.com. And we got all kinds of apparel and swag and whatnot on there. So check it out and support Last but not least, if you want more information on the podcast, go to bigtruthpodcast.com. All the show episodes are up there. And most importantly, please, as a favor, wherever you listen to this podcast, whether it's off the website or you listen to it on iTunes or Apple or Android or Spotify or Stitcher or YouTube, wherever you're listening to it, please like, share, leave a review, leave a comment, leave stars, whatever thing there is you can do, because that boosts us up in the algorithm and gets us out to more people. So I appreciate it. And without further ado, I'll stop rambling here and we'll get into today's episode right now.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes, once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Big Truth Podcast. And I'm here today with my homie, Graziadei, who you may know from bands such as Biohazard or Powerflow or just his solo career. He's a musician, a songwriter, a player, an engineer, a producer, a man of many hats. So I'm stoked to have him on today. We've tried to do it a couple times in the past and got caught with technical glitches. So third time's a charm, right, Billy?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Good.
How you doing, bro?
All right, man. Just coming out of the Thanksgiving week, getting back to the first full week of back at it and the grind and shit. Had a good time over the last week and stuff. How about you, man? What's going on?
Same here, man. I'm 5 pounds heavier, but it's like a bear hibernating in the winter. I'm not getting ready for the cold weather.
Yeah. Well, the cold weather of California.
Yeah, I'm an East Coast kid though.
Yeah. You don't get to put on the Brooklyn weight. You know what I mean? You can stay at a more svelte California weight.
Yeah.
But what's going on, man? I know you got a ton of music stuff going on. The last time we had started talking about this on the podcast before, you had hooked up with a new app that like kind of hooks musicians up so they can collaborate across worldwide and whatnot. And if you want to get back into some of that, what you were collaborating with a band last time I talked like in Australia or something over that app.
Yeah. That's it's been such a while since
yeah,
spoke about app. What's that app called? Link.
And I'll put
yeah. So yeah, you're gonna edit this, right?
Yeah. And I'll put a link up to it, so you know what I mean in the show notes.
Cool.
So.
Yeah. So that company's called Featured X. And it's pretty dope. It's a way that young bands can or musicians can reach out to other artists that have somewhat, made a little bit of noise with their career, and you get, speak directly to them. At least that's how I deal with it. People reach out to me, and everything from just, guesting on one of their songs or writing a song for them. And I've done it all, but it's a pretty cool thing. And the cats who created it, they're from Boston, I think.
Okay.
From Massachusetts, Providence, somewhere in New England.
Somewhere in the general area.
I know we're all territorial, but we're all New Englanders.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's it called? Featured X?
Featured X, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And it's basically a way it allows people to collaborate with each other, like musically or whatever, on projects across the World Wide Web. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, like when I was a kid, you never have you don't have the access to talk to certain people in different bands.
Yeah.
Especially when we were younger coming up. But now you can reach out to people on social media and maybe you'll get a response. I respond to everybody, but maybe Jamie Hatebreed's busy with their new Hatebreed record or his own solos, Jamie Jackson stuff. And he doesn't get a chance to get back to you. But if he's up on Featured X and he goes to Featured X to check it out, and he's there specifically to reach out to young up and coming artists that want to collab or do something with him, he'll get back to you. It's the same as I will and all these other artists. So it's a pretty cool little new thing that these dudes invented it. They came out of the pandemic, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, man, and definitely a way to just keep up with, just keep working. Not you. I mean, I know you're probably turning shit away, but like, just a good way for people to, I don't know, just make use of that time too. Like, especially when everyone had like a year of downtime, man. Just, keep creative juices flowing and whatnot. And but it must be cool for a younger band to be able to reach out to somebody that's kind of further along in the career, even whether it's just for advice or for help with writing stuff or guesting and stuff. That sounds like a pretty fucking cool thing. And they are not sponsoring this podcast, so I'm not like giving them like a weird shout out or anything. I think the concept is fucking cool. So I fucking co-sign that. I know I would have appreciated that when I was a kid.
Yeah, right. And plus, since we did this record called Judgment Night, I love the collabs. I love when artists put their shit together and it comes out with a twisted, with twisted angles and twisted artistic fucking creative vibes that are really specific to each individual artist. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, man. And you never know, even when it's something that doesn't seem like it might not make sense, when it comes together, the collaboration, sometimes like some of the coolest shit can come out of that, you never know what's going to happen, so like sometimes magic is made, in the most unlikely of places.
Yeah. There we go.
But
actually,
okay.
The cool thing about it is that I'm a fan. So when I look at other artists on there, I'm like, oh shit, I could do something with these dudes.
Yeah.
It's more like, I'm still looking at it as a peer, as a user of the site. But, like Necro and I have been talking about doing something, Slane, and I would love to do something with him, and him I've spoke a bunch of times. So I'm still a fan. I don't approach it like, hey, let's collab. I'm just like, hey man, you think I could work, if we could work together on something fucking cool?
Yeah.
So that's the great thing. To me, music, it's never gotten boring for me. I still feel like, a kid, walking into the candy store for the first time with a giant sweet tooth, like, motherfucker, oh, this is fucking great. Even I'm releasing a new record, my second BillyBio record. It's a solo record, and it's still fucking exciting. Never gets boring. I always look forward to it. It's fucking badass.
Now, what do you like the most? I mean, I know, and you might not have an answer. It's fine, but like I know I have a lot of friends. Obviously, we have a lot of shared friends that are musicians. Some people really like being in the studio and recording. Some people like being out on the road more. Like, what's your favorite part of the process? And because I know you have a hands-on approach to like you record, engineer, produce everything. So like nowadays, what's kind of like your favorite thing to do?
Bro, I used to be more into, I didn't like the recording process. And I think it was because it was all about the vibe that I felt in the early career Biohazard that we never really captured. We didn't capture the essence of power that we had on stage on records and vinyl. But over the years, I got more comfortable in the studio and realized I was more capable of capturing that vibe myself versus hiring, big time producers and paying out the ass for these guys.
Yeah,
it's a lot of them I had great experience with, and I'm still friends with all of them. But I got way more comfortable. So now it's across the board. I love it all. I love from writing, sitting in my studio. I have a place called Firewater Studios here in LA. We started in Brooklyn, and then over the years it evolved, and I eventually moved out here. But I love writing in the studio, recording my shit, and all the other bands that I do. It's like my, it's like my clubhouse, my man cave. It's my creative outlet. It's everything. My whole essence as an artist, lives in this place. I think if the place burnt down, knock on wood, it'd be like fucking suicide. But so I like it all, man. I love creating. On the new record, I have a Patreon site. It's patreon.com, BillyBio. But I did this really cool thing where as I was making this record, and the record's called Leaders and Liars, it comes out in March. I drop, we released one single, and I put out a new video's coming out tomorrow. A song I did with Toby from H2O called One Life to Live. Great song, fucking the most unique video I've ever made in my fucking career. But what I did was, Josh, I fucking documented and I put up the camera, my fucking little iPhone during like the pandemic and captured a couple moments of me, writing. And I think there's 2 or 3 songs that I did this to. But I released this single that dropped. I didn't know what label. I like all my songs. If they're on my record, I fucking I stand behind them 100%. So, but one of the things I learned along the way is I'm not good with the label. Feels the song is the right one to go with a single or a video for whatever. I'm with it. I like them all. Anyways, they happened to pick this one song that I documented the writing on. And on Patreon, what I did was every couple weeks, once a month, or whatever, for the past 4 or 5 months, I've been showing different versions of the song. It started in me sitting in my living room on acoustic guitar. And then the riffs started coming together in another episode. And then the whole song I had pretty much written on acoustic. And then I went in the studio and started putting it down on electric. And then, laying down drums, laying down some vocals. And the song progressed. And then I dropped the last version right before. I had a friend of mine come to the studio, and she took a video of me playing her the song. It was the same song that I had been sharing, but the homegirl put it up on her social media. And so it kind of fucking took the wind out of my sails, and we had to scramble and try to figure out, because we weren't going to announce the record until December. Make a long story short.
Yeah.
You got to, I look at it like, the saying, if life gives you lemons, you got to learn, make lemonade out of it.
Yeah, sure.
I just turned it around and got some friends picked it up and helped me promote it. It didn't, people didn't hear about my music how I wanted it to, but it's all good.
Yeah. But that's rad that you got the whole thing documented from like you just kind of sketching it out or working it out like, in your living room to all the way to the finished product. So I'm sure there's a lot of people like, I was just talking about this on, I think on the last episode of the podcast. Like, I'm like a nerd for like fucking like music documentaries. I love to watch the process of like how people make music or how bands come together and like the kind of rise of all that and the story of all that. So I'm sure there's a lot of people interested in the process and getting to see like how you wrote a song from beginning to end and all the pieces in between and all the steps in between. So I'm sure that's, even if the song got leaked a little early, at least people get to see that whole fucking process. That's pretty fucking badass.
As a fan, I'm not a fan of myself. I'm proud to like what I do, but
as a music fan, yeah,
as a music fan, and it's fucking pretty dope, dude. I love, I think that if I was live, I wouldn't be into it. Like if you tuned in and you could watch, BillyBio fucking write a song or whatever, I would be like, nah, I'm not into that. I don't want to show anybody my inner workings. But the camera, you kind of ignore, and you always have the ability to look at it later and say, yeah, I don't want to share that.
Yeah.
But and all this footage, it was pretty cool. Even the writing, bro. I put a camera up when I was working on the lyrics, and just try to capture some moments. I had some ideas in my head, and it's all fast forward. But you see me writing down my ideas. Some of the ideas in the lyrics stayed, and some of them evolved and changed. I remember the song had a different name at first in my head, but when I finally put it all together, it all came out, and I got Toby from H2O to spit on it, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. I'm like wanting to see this now. But fuck yeah, dude. So, what else? So you got a solo record coming in March? Any touring coming up? I know it's kind of weird timing, and I know things look like they're coming in place where touring might get fucking pushed back some more, or who knows or whatnot. But
yeah,
as of now,
I do. I'm playing a show. We're doing like a cool party, a wrap up party for the record, December 17th. A dude from the Eagles of Death Metal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's playing some other bands that I produced. My boy Neil, I just finished his record, the band called Cutthroat. Band I produced anyways, it's December 17th. But the big tour I had, dude, fucking COVID, man. We've all lost friends and family. And it's fucking sad. But this keeps fucking just slaughtering everybody's plans. I had a big fucking tour. I can't talk about it because we're trying to make it happen later, but it was fucking huge.
Yeah. And
it was supposed to start March 23rd. And my records come out March 25th, but that just got canceled. I was fucking, but I was like, you know what? There's something better out there waiting for me. So I'll wait for that.
So was it a lot of, was it a US stuff or Europe that got canceled or all of it?
Both.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's fucking crazy, dude. You know, we can get into politics of it or not. Like either way, it's like fine. Wait, what are you doing dishes or something?
No. Am I doing dishes? Do I do dishes? No.
Oh, it sounds like there's like clinking sounds. I thought it was a. I'm just fucking with you.
You're not supposed to hear that on the fucking Apple phone. The Apple Pod. They have this thing that shuts off all the surround sounds.
No.
I mean all the. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, it's no big deal. I can hear it, but yeah, man. So your solo record, your second solo record's coming out, and so do you have a band with that? Like, or are you hiring guys, or do you have like a steadfast kind of band that you use for your solo stuff?
I started out it's basically just me in the studio.
Yeah.
So I play everything and do everything. But when it comes time when the songs are done, then I bring in my buddies. I got my buddy Fred played drums. He's a drummer for Powerflow, another band I had with Send Over Inside the Sill, Christian from Fear Factory, and then Rod Diaz, who plays bass for Suicidal Tendencies. He plays bass, and then Dan Palmer. He plays guitar for Death by Stereo, and Zebrahead is my guitar player.
Cool.
So the four of us, they come in when the songs are done. At first, I start with Fred, and I'm super protective of my shit, dude. Like just from the Biohazard days when MP3 started happening, nobody gets a copy of my music. Even when it's done, they got to wait until fucking records, printed up and there's that version. But the guys come in and I show them the songs, we jam it, we fuck around with it. And then we track.
Nice.
So it's a little bit of both. It's a band, but it's still solo. Like my ideas stay pure.
Nice, man.
It's like you having somebody. It's like and I love a band, bro. I love that vibe. I love everything from Biohazard to Powerflow, the way it works. But there's something about it's like you designing a bike and you come up with this dope ass fucking frame, and then you get ready to fucking light the torch and start welding. And then you invite your buddy over and you say, hey, what would you change? All right, go ahead. Contribute to it. And suddenly your vision is now tainted. It's not the same fucking shit that you gave birth to in your head.
Sure.
And sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times when you have good partnerships, it comes out better. But it's still different than your first conception,
No, I get that. And that's why you have your solo, like and it's cool that you're able to, record and play all the instrumentation yourself. And then, you get your vision down 100%. And then, the collaborative stuff, you got your bands for that are more collaborative in that nature. And that's cool. That's, it's the worst when someone does solo records and it's just the same stuff that sounds like the bands they're in. Like, and that's why it's cool. Like with you, like, you have a total separation there and you're just doing it all, and it's not like, like bringing in guys from your band to your other bands to write the stuff and then still call it a solo record. You know what I mean? It's a pure solo record. So, I like that.
It is a little bit like, I get it, and I've heard that stuff before, and I did. A lot of bands, singers do that. I've seen it, and it works great for them. But for me, and we've been friends for a long time, but we kind of met during Blood for Blood, not during the Biohazard era. But with Biohazard, I always brought my ideas in. They were finished ideas. It was, hey guys, check this out. I have demo tapes of like Punishment or fucking Tales from the Hard Side and What Makes You Tick. I remember recording that shit, my basement in Brooklyn and bringing it to the guys. So a lot of times I brought in finished versions of songs. They didn't like it because how do you do this on your own? I'm like, I studied and I learned and how it works. But it's the same thing now. I just do it on my own, and I don't ask anybody their opinion. I just put it like that way.
Nice. Now, what was, like, obviously you've been a musician and a player for a while. Like, what was, and it sounds like you might have even answered this a little bit earlier, but like, what was your impetus to learn like recording and production stuff? Was it cause like what you said earlier, where it was just like you wanted to be able to, you had a vision of the power of your sound and you felt like you could capture it better than producers, or was there something else that was kind of driving you to learn that stuff?
I think it's a combination of everything. I'm a big control freak. I like to just, I don't like to have anything between what's in my head, what's in my heart, and capturing it, preserving it, putting it in stone. I don't like to have to explain my ideas to people. It's always been like that, and I think the desire to learn new things is always big on my horizon. I love just to, if there's something I don't understand, I like to learn about it. Over the years, I looked at things that it's funny, dude. The shit that I was spending money on, you need a graphic artist, so you got to have somebody make a poster for you. So, making t-shirt designs. It started out with press on letters for like the first Biohazard demos and the first Biohazard t-shirts and our first posters, where I would my buddy's old lady was an artist. She said, "Oh, you can go to the art store here in Canal Street, and you can buy these little press on like letters, and you put them on a piece of paper, and then you Xerox them, and then I was doing all the flyers, it expanded up. It expanded to now. I know I like Photoshop. I know how to make my own videos. I make my own flyers. I do my own logo. I could do it. I could design my own website because I watched where were the things that I was insufficient with. Where was I dropping the ball? Where was the slack? Where was the weak chain? And everything else. I have a whole group of, a squad that I put together over the years that I work with, people that can help me with those. They're like specialists in the new website for BillyBio I just finished, and we use WordPress so I could easily design it. But before that, my homeboy taught me how to program HTML and code, so I knew how to look at first things, and I couldn't build it from scratch, but I knew how to change things, and I learned that way. So I think necessity is a mother of invention. So having the desire and the need for these skills, a certain skill set, I ventured out and learned how to do those things.
Yeah.
Am I in a McFarlane with a fucking camera? No.
Yeah.
But you know what? I make half of my videos for fucking a fraction of the cost. And like the new video I did, I'm dropping it tomorrow, bro. It's the fucking most unique video I've fucking ever made in my life. And especially in a world where we're all part of the hardcore and metal scene, and you I've seen the same kind of themes redone a lot. And I'm glad to be able to be the first fucking metal hardcore band that came across the Brooklyn Bridge with all your fucking crew and Punishment. But that aside, it's hard to come up with something new.
Sure.
And nobody has a budget anymore. So your money shot is not with money. It's got to be the idea.
Yeah.
So this whole fucking video I did, I shot it on my fucking iPhone. I work with my two homeboys and they help me out with it, but it's my fucking iPhone. One shot, dude. It's the whole fucking video is one shot. And I came up with all these different ideas. I had the whole thing about it, which I'll talk about over the next week or so, but it's fucking badass. But it was the idea, and it made it super unique.
Yeah.
And
well, tomorrow, when it drops, or I'll look for it, or shoot me a link, and I'll post it up. You know what I mean?
Thank you, brother.
And dude, not for nothing, man. I just started shooting some shit with because we do the TV thing, Chop Ed TV, and I'd been shooting with like a DSLR, a mirrorless camera, a DSLR, and the new iPhone 13, man, looks just as fucking good, dude. Like the fucking that cinematic mode with filming. I'm like, Jesus, all I gotta do is bring my phone now. I just shot 2 bike shows with just that, and it looks fucking beautiful.
Bro, it's unbelievable. It's just scratching the surface because they,
Oh yeah.
And every time, because what they're giving us right now for a big fucking price point, they got shit that just is mind blowing. But they're waiting because they're gonna get to that level with 3 or 4 updates.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's crazy, man.
What I've heard is the technology that a lot of these companies have is literally 10 years beyond, and that they're holding and not putting out is like 10 years or more beyond what we have in our hands today, whether it's phones or other things. And so I don't doubt that they got some fucking rad shit coming down the road, It's
funny about that because I'm a big tech head. I mean, obviously that side of my life, but Apple had a chance to buy Tesla, and they didn't.
Yeah,
fucking Tesla. They don't play by those games. That's why they're the innovators, and they were first to market, and that's why they're fucking the kings of the EV world. And it's because they don't. They have. It's not like they have the technology and they're waiting to milk it to make money out of it. Apple does that. Yeah. And that's their business model since day one. And I'm with it. That's cool. I got patience, and I'm cool to wait for. I know. The kids. Everybody gets their phone first, and I'm the last in line to get the new phones. Yeah. Always, but it's okay. But Tesla, that motherfucker, Elon Musk, he comes up with something. He works on it, and I love how he doesn't. He's not scripted at all. No. He'll let the shit out of the fuck. He'll let the cat out of the bag, like before you're supposed to. And he's like, "Oh, I probably wasn't supposed to talk about that, but whatever." And I think that they're innovative and they're the top of that market for that reason. It's so funny, this conversation. We're talking about, we're bike world and rock and roll and hardcore metal, but we're talking about technology and Tesla.
Dude, that's what I love about this, man. It goes anywhere it goes, There's no questions, no script,
I know. I remember once I did a Jimmy Jass's podcast, and Jasser called me up, and he's like, "Yo, we're supposed to talk. It's 1 o'clock." I said, "Oh, sorry, dude." He goes, "What were you doing?" Because did you trade? And we're live, right? And he goes, "Did you trade GME?" I said, "Yeah, dude. Fuck, are you kidding me? It's killing it." He goes, "Yeah, that shit just sold me. Just bought me a new studio in my new house I'm building." And we were laughing about the stock, GameStop. And it was that one day, I know a lot of people, everybody heard about it, but there was this one day that the stock went out the roof, and Jamie was like, "Yeah, I can't believe it went up. It went up to like, it doubled my money, and I sold, made out so much money." I said, "Bro, why did you sell? It's at $300 now. It's fucking, this is insane." He said, "What?" So we're having this conversation live on a podcast, and all of our friends and family were probably watching, going, "What the fuck? These are two hardcore dudes talking about the stock market."
No. Hey, you know what happens, man? We grew up with a DIY ethic, man, and that's why I think that's part of the shit that's instilled with you to learn how to do all this shit. You know what I mean? And it's similar here. Like I learned Photoshop because I had to, and I'm not like, I couldn't be a full-time graphic designer for a major company, but I can get by with the shit I need to get by. And when there's something I need that's a little out of my realm, I got friends that I bring in, and that's just kind of ingrained with us from the scene that we involved in. But I find myself lately like dabbling in like crypto and stock stuff and everything here and there because, no one ever gave us anything, right, in life. Like, we've earned everything we had, and I think we're all just trying to be smart and do better, and come and be more secure, I do.
Yeah, dude. It's like when you bought the tattoo machine. You remember that?
Yeah,
Of course you remember. But now the shit, you're still doing it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I lasered. Dude, my day is like on Mondays. I come to Chop Ahead. I open up. My friend Ken works here for the day. I go laser all day and do the removal shit, and then I come back here and work, and then or do this podcast, and then the rest of the week I'm at the shop, the bike shop all day, and then I do removal at night. You know, there's always a hustle going on. You know.
Yeah. You know, a case in point, dude. When you told me about that, I'm like, what? Really? That's a viable business.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, it's gonna take off. Shit. And I always wondered though, and I want to ask you this: is a lot of are the people? What's the percentage of people that want to get removal because they regret it, or people that want to get it removed because they want to redo something over it?
I think I see a lot more of the lightning to cover old art up with new art more than some of the other laser places, because I'm more ingrained in the tattoo world. So I get a lot of artists referring people to me for that reason. But I'll tell you my main classes of clients. Number one, first and foremost, is an unfortunate one, but I remove a lot of names and ring finger tattoos. Number two is removing tattoos for employment or reasons, whether it's someone joining a branch of the military and they got something in areas where they're not allowed to have tattoos, like hands or neck or face or something. Or, whatever line of work they're going in, they need to get rid of. But I get a lot of military people that are trying to get rid of stuff before they join. And then I get a lot of people that are just lightening old stuff so they can go over it with new.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing, man, because when I got into it, I thought I was going to see a lot of real fucking horrible tattoos or and really it's not. I remove a lot of decent tattoos. Like I've removed some that are fucking awesome. And I'm like, you sure you really want me to start lasering this? It's a fucking badass tattoo. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a bizarre world, right?
Yeah.
But fuck yeah. So yeah, dude, it's funny, that whole rise of GameStop. I didn't get in on it. Now I regret it, but I know people that got in and were buying it when it was like $10-13, and what did it go up to, like $300-400? Like I knew one dude that was up like over $100,000. You know what I mean? And then he like held out, and then it went down and down and down. That's obviously hindsight is always 20/20 with things like that. But man, there's so many. Like, aren't they trying to do another run with that, or AMC or something? They're trying to do a run on.
Yeah, dude. It got up to GME. It's been on a trend. It keeps going up higher and higher. But the peak in that day or that week was almost $500, like $480.
Yeah,
it's fucking insane. And since then, it's hit $350 a couple times. But so AMC, where are they now? They're talking about stock market shit. But AMC, we bought some AMC because everybody loves the fucking movies. And I thought to myself, like, all the movies, everything's closed. And the minute fucking the world opens back up, people are going to be fucking, it's going to be like the Wild West. They're going to want to go to every bar, every club, every show, every concert, and every fucking movie. Right?
Yeah.
So I was looking at the AMC, and we bought a little bit, and then it dropped. Bought a little bit, and they start talking about how they're trying to avoid bankruptcy because they believed in the same thing that I believed in was going to happen. They believe that when it opens back up, people are going to go back to the movies. And sure enough, they were right. But they kept the price the more the price dropped, the more AMC kept putting out press releases that they were going to sell stock to pay their bills and dilute the stock, but it and put out more offerings, all these business shit.
Yeah,
it's hard to understand, but it made the price go lower and lower. And there was a point I remember, like I think the last time I bought some shares, it was at $2.50 or something like that. So we were averaged in real low, and then GameStop happened, and maybe it was like a week later or so. I can't even remember. I wake up one morning, go to work, and I get a ding on my phone, and AMC fucking jacked up to like $20. And I was like, whoa, don't tell me this is the same shit that's happening. as fucking as GameStop, and it did. It went up to fucking. It was like the first round was like it hit like 30 or whatever. I can't remember, but eventually went up to like $70, and it was the same thing. And here's the cool tie-in to what we're all about in our lifestyles. Our subculture, the one that's just we were raised walking the streets going fuck society, fuck the establishment, and the hippies did it. The fucking early punk rockers did it, and we did it all through our youth. And still to this day and age, we choose to live our lives how we want to live them. We don't give a fuck about whatever everyone else thinks. That is the flag I carry. That's the flag I'll always support. But what happened with that shit was a bunch of kids that turned around and said, fuck the hedge funds, fuck those motherfucking rich bastards. Let's fucking unite and do this. And they turned that shit around and they fucked the businessman. They fucked the dudes who have been fucking the regular working class dude that throws a little bit of extra cash into his retirement fund, or he's got a 401k in his side business and whatever. But that was like, in the economic world, that was the most punk rock thing ever.
Yeah. But that and crypto are the punk rock of the financial world for sure. And
hell yeah,
I know. Didn't they made all kinds of fucking like that caused all kinds of weird like rules and shit like in the financial trading like so that they're doing their best to make sure nothing like that happens again. But guess what, motherfuckers? There's always some smart kid that's going to figure out ways around shit. You know.
Yep.
And
so you know what happened? What I heard happened. Jimmy and I talked about this off mic too. Some kid that worked at some hedge fund, some investment firm in Manhattan, heard the dudes talking at the end of the day how AMC was definitely going bankrupt and they were going to short the stock. So when you short the stock, it means you're planning on the price going lower.
Yeah.
So it's opposite of what normally happens. Normally the price goes up, you buy low, you sell high. These dudes, they're betting. It's almost like they're pessimistic, doubting Thomases, whatever.
Yeah.
But they had some kind of information. This dude reached out to friends and he leaked that shit. And he said, and they went on Reddit and they were like, and they started talking about it. Small little chat room. They said, the fucking hedge fund motherfuckers are going to short AMC. Everybody buy the stock because it's dirt cheap. And fuck them. Let's fuck those motherfuckers. And I'm straightening it up a little bit, but that's reality. What they did was they stuck it to the man who's trying to stick it to everybody else.
Yeah.
And it worked. The more the price went, and what happens is it's called the squeeze. When to get out of a short position, they used to call me Sergeant in Biohazard because I always the guy. I organized everything. I ran the show.
Yeah. You're the guy. There's always a guy with the clipboard in the band. You held the clipboard.
I never. It wasn't a clipboard, but it's the same concept.
Yeah.
So and now I'm digging that grave deeper with this little knowledge. So to get out of a position, you have to buy shares to get out of a short. That's how you close your position. But when you buy shares, you're adding to the increase. Other people see those shares being bought, and they're like, "Holy shit, this is really taking off!" And it makes the price go higher. And the more nervous a short gets, the high, and he sells. He's like, "Fuck!" It makes the price go higher and higher, and that's what happened. That's people are still holding AMC and GameStop for that same reason.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And see,
right.
so there's a little bit of knowledge, world knowledge for people that might not be in the financial sphere. There's still subculture and fucking punk rock shit happening even in those worlds, man.
Hell yeah.
And find it. You know what I mean? Get it. I would never be one to be able to give any kind of stock advice or anything like that, but it's interesting, man. And to me, it's more fun than going to like a casino or some shit. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you have better odds. Like if you're investing strategically and shit.
100%, bro. You just hit the nail on the head. Gambling, going to Vegas, go to Atlantic City. That's gambling.
Yeah,
it's luck. It's like you're trying to play the odds, but stock market, it's not gambling, it's investment. You do your D&D, you do some research. I'm not a guy. You're not supposed to give advice unless you're like an accredited investor.
Sure.
But my advice is, don't be a pussy. Find something you like, put a little bit of money in there.
Yeah.
Take like 5% of your paycheck, throw it in there every couple of months. Every couple of weeks, or whatever. Twice a month, make it, and add to your position, whatever, and watch it grow.
Yeah.
The stock market, people say, "Oh, it crashes." I'm afraid. I was afraid because I fucking grew up in Brooklyn. I never trusted anybody with my money. I was an Italian dude who put his money under his fucking mattress.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I wish I would have learned a little bit more. I wish I would have learned a fraction of what I know now a long time ago.
I know, man.
Because but
Dude,
it is what it is.
I still think about it in that the 2008 crash, like Ford was down to $1. I'm like, man, if I just would have thrown a couple of grand at Ford back, not that I like even 2008 probably didn't have a few grand, but I like, you know what I mean? But if I bought like 500 shares, man, at $1, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, but I think that's like also what happened now, right? Too. Yeah. Is that, we've gone around the world. We've gone around the world. Yeah. But we've also gone around we've rotated around the sun a few times, you know what I mean? So we've seen crashes and comebacks and crashes and comebacks, and just know, like, you buy some shit, it might crash, but just fucking stick with it. Don't sell off when it's worth nothing. Could come back. You never know. Especially if you're like invested in like some big shit. You know what I mean? That's like it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. I mean, I watched fucking. I remember when fucking a Bitcoin was $600, and I was like, I don't even know what that is. I ain't buying that shit. And then it went to like 60 grand, and then it went back to like $5,000, and now it's back up in the 50s. You know what I mean? It's fucking shit's all over the place.
My boy called me up. He said, "Yo, you know much about crypto?" I said, "I heard a little bit about it, but I've never, I'm not educated on that." He goes, "Bro, it's fucking at $900. You should just take, drop $500." I said, I'm not even going to get one share. He goes, "It doesn't work like that. It's not like stock." And I didn't, and for a little bit later, and I did, and I just always regretted not learning or not investing in that sooner. But it's always like that with everything. Like, oh, fuck, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I wish I would have started playing guitar or training jiu-jitsu, 10 years earlier. But it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go back. You just learn. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No,
just move forward. My advice to anybody is, if you look at all those charts that look confusing as hell, all it is a price point. And the stock, every chart in the stock market gets higher. The more you move to the right, it gets higher. So everything gains value more. And the problem is, when I was younger, your money loses value. You put it in the bank, you put it in savings, it loses value. And the money that I used to keep in my fucking underneath my mattress didn't earn anything. Yeah. It lost value because inflation. But if you have to make your money, and that's how the rich make their money. They use their money to make money. And people, as you get older, you understand that, like, okay, cool. I need a little bit of money to invest in this, because with this, I can buy this fucking car for $2,000, do a little bit of work, and sell it for $3,000. Now I can take that $3,000, buy a little bit nicer value car that's going to be more and more worth its value. I put $2,000 in that, and I sell it for $9,000 or $10,000, and you can keep doing that. But the other thing is, when you make your profits, you can put it into something that you think is viable. I think that, like, the world is obviously turning more and more green. There's things, there's obvious things, like when the pandemic hit, everyone was caught in the ships, and that shit crashed like motherfuckers. Airlines crashed, all this stuff, and so you can play it that way. But other companies that are tried and true, and like you said, from Ford, which is probably $30-$40 a share now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I haven't even looked. Yeah.
So, anyways, let's talk about something a little bit more on our pace.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, what? We haven't ran into each other in a long time, and I've always meant to ask you about this. So here we go. But, like, what's up with Powerflow? How did that come together? That's a interesting concept for a band right there. It's you and Sendog from Cypress Hill, and like, how did you guys, like, what spawned that, and what, are you guys doing anything with that right now?
Yeah, actually, with Christian from Fear Factory. So
yes, yeah.
Christian, who that dude, we have the second record. It's done, wrote it all. It's all ready to go. I'm just waiting for Christian, who moved away. He lives on a farm in Texas, and he's fucking loving it. But I'm waiting for him to finish his bass track. So that's going to be the second record for Powerflow. Powerflow, bro, this is, when I talk to my friends, I'm like, this is such a cool story, like how it happened. We were doing Biohazard still, and Sendog and Roy from Downset came into the studio to sit with me. And Sen and I did a lot of work together in different projects over the years. Since we've been friends since the early 90s. And I was always a major fucking Cypress Hill fan, and he was always a Biohazard fan. The dude is a fucking more of a metalhead than he is into hip hop. He loves hip hop, of course, and he's a Godfather OG of hip hop. But he's a fucking metalhead. He's a fucking huge Megadeth fan, Metallica, huge Pantera fan. And he grew up, he was a Cuban dude in Southgate that grew up with Dave Lombardo. There were two Cubans that were best friends in Southgate. It's a section of LA, South LA. So, said the funniest thing he said is like, bro, my parents couldn't afford any instruments. You know, we had a pen and paper, so I was spitting lyrics, and that's how I got into hip hop. But he was best friends with Dave Lombardo, drummer of Slayer, and he told me, he goes, bro, one time Dave came up to me in school. We were in like whatever 10th grade, and he's like, hey man, my band's playing in the quad out in California. They don't have the schools aren't indoors. Each like there's a building for the classrooms, but to go to class you walk outside, and there's a lunchroom that's outside, you know, in the open, and they call it the quad, I guess. But so Sen went the next day to see Slayer play in high school. They were all went to high school there, or most of them, and it was fucking unbelievable. But so this is how it happened. Sen came in the studio, and he was like, bro, you know, I got something new going on, and I'd love to get you down with this. And I told him flat out, I said, bro, I said, you know, I got a family and kids just like you. And, you know, if I'm leaving, I want to do a solo record, but if I leave my family, I just can't slug it out with a new band. I said, I'm down to work with you on any level you want, and I'll produce, I'll write for you, whatever. But I need to stay home. You know, if I'm going to leave, it's going to be for Biohazard, and, you know, it's easier to pay the bills, you know, grinding with those dudes who are my best friends for life.
Yeah.
So Sam was like, yeah, nope, it's all good. It's all good. So he would come by the studio every Sunday night after football. He'd bring a bunch of beers, some of his bros, and we'd hang out. I'd play him some ideas. We'd work on songs. And after we had a whole bunch of songs together, we had no name, no nothing. We ended up, long story short, we ended up in the studio recording, still no name of the band. It was no intentions. It was just a bunch of cool songs that we liked. So my drummer at the time, Fernando, Brazilian cat, he turns to me and in Portuguese, he says to me, hey bro, this is fucking great, man. We all get along. It's a good time. Let's do a fucking band. Let's make it real. And I'm like, we're having a blast. We're there for like a week. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then within a couple of days, Sam was like, hey, I'm thinking of this name, Powerflow. What do you think? And at first I didn't really feel it, but I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I get it. And the name was a term that Roy came up with. He's talking to Sen about Sen. When he spits over heavy lyrics and metal, he does his flow, Sendog style, but he does it with more power.
Yeah.
So he's kind of got his flow, but it's powerful, and that's how they came up with the name. But so it stuck, and we ended up doing it, and then put out the first record, and then we kept touring, having a great fucking time. And Sen and I, the original plan was to do, we would juggle Cypress Hill and Biohazard, and then Biohazard was done, and he flipped another Cypress Hill record out. And then I did the solo record. And then so that's what I do now. I just do both bands and Powerflow. We're finishing up our second record right now, and it's killer.
Nice.
That's a West Coast word, killer. I can't believe I say that.
Nah, I get it. Yeah, so that's cool. So you guys plan it accordingly so that the releases drop in between, whether it's your solo record or a Cypress Hill record or something. So it all works out. So nothing's stepping on each other. Yeah.
Exactly. COVID kind of fucked up everything.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, we're not the types of people who stick to your plan. You just kind of go with the flow more so.
Yeah.
And, now like the plan was to have the Powerflow record out before my BillyBio record, and then that didn't happen. So now the BillyBio record's coming out, and then Powerflow will be out after that.
Yeah. A funny thing, man, is that in the world of like underground music, a lot of people know that there's a lot of hardcore kids, or a lot of guys that grew up in hardcore and metal were also hip hop fans, and was always kind of a thing, whether it was like, but what a lot of people don't realize is that there was a lot of hip hop heads, like main dudes that were also like hardcore and metal guys, like, you know what I mean? Like Ice-T or Sendog or even fucking Scarface from Ghetto Boys, man. We hung out with him in Boston, and he was talking about all this shit. He was like, I grew up fucking punk and hardcore, man. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just more of a testament to how, these, legit music, is real, recognized real, you know what I mean? And when shit is legit and authentic, like, it transcends fucking bounds, and barriers. And I think it's cool, like the cross flow that goes between the two. And you guys were one of the major things that kind of really set it up on a big level with the Judgment Night shit, and with Biohazard and fucking Onyx and whatnot. And that record kind of really set it off back then, it set the stage for a lot of the crossover stuff there. What was that like, man? In those early days and getting in the studio with Onyx and shit, how did that all like kind of come together?
So that was a cool, interesting story. But let me make a comment. But you brought up Ghetto Boys. We were on tour with Powerflow, and I look over, side of stage is fucking Bushwick Bill, rest in peace.
Yeah.
He's fucking leaning against the wall, and he's fucking headbanging. He's fucking grooving to the fucking music. And I'm like, yeah, you fucking go over and fist bump me. And he's fucking a fan. He comes out, we finish the show, and he comes on stage, and he's like, yo, let's do an encore. We're like, we didn't know what the fuck to play.
Yeah.
It was one of the first few shows, first tour, but it was funny. But he was a huge fucking metalhead. Hung out backstage, mad cool dude. He passed away recently, but
yeah, I know.
So the Onyx stuff, we were on tour, I think was Sick of It All, and it ended in Cleveland. And a couple days before, I got a call from our manager, Scott Coney, who just passed away from COVID. But he tells me that the Onyx camp they wanted me to do a remix of a song called Slam.
Yeah,
and it was a big hit on the radio. So they flew me home. The guys, they drove back from Cleveland when the tour ended, and they flew me home. That's a whole crazy story about that, but I'll keep that private. But so I go in the studio and do this remix, and I play guitars. I had Danny come in a couple of days later and lay down some drum beats, and then so it's guitars and bass, but it sounds like Biohazard, of course, because that's what I do. Yeah. Especially back then, that's all I did. So it becomes like a Biohazard collaboration. They call it Bionics remix or something. I can't remember. And they put the shit out. It was like a more metal version of their song. That friendship, we did a couple shows together. And then that friendship turned into us being paired up for this Judgment Night movie soundtrack. This guy named Happy Walters put together. And he paired up fucking unique, pairs of different musicians, from Ice-T and Slayer, us and Onyx, Cypress Hill and Faith No More, I think. So many different cool collabs.
Yeah.
And we ended up doing a song together. So the song we did was the title track for the movie called Judgment Night. And we worked with Jam Master Jay, rest in peace. I can't believe there's 3 people I just mentioned in the past minute.
I know, dude. It's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jam Master Jay was from Run DMC, and he was the producer of the track, and it was fucking killer. We wrote a cool song together. We sat with him in the studio, and another cool collab was House of Pain and Helmet. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember that. That soundtrack was big when I was like a teenager. It was huge.
Yep. So that's how it got together, and I remember, in all due respect to Jam Master Jay, he brought more of the hip hop part of the song out, and it wasn't. He didn't. I mean, that's his thing. If I was a producer, I would have brought more metal out. So I actually redid that song, and it'll be coming out next year sometime. But it's way more metal. It's fucking killer. It's great.
Yeah, man. Well, and Run DMC were one of the first to stop putting guitars like that. Rockbox, dude, off their first record. They had fucking guitars right off the rip, and then they did that. Then King of Rock, and then what else? So they did that collaboration with Aerosmith, like fucking Hey, dude, like there's always been an overlap. You know what I mean? You get the two circles, and where they overlap, like there's been like a real little solid core there, man. Which I always appreciated, man, because I grew up with both, and it wasn't, it was. Everyone always thought it was more common for hardcore kids to like hip hop, but they didn't realize that there was a bunch of fucking like legit top tier hip hop dudes that were in the core. It was fucking rad.
Yeah.
And still is. I mean, Ice-T's got Body Count. You guys got Powerflow. Like, there's still shit going on right now,
Yeah, dude. I wrote a song for Body Count. And I played it for Fred when he came back. I said, yo, check this out. He goes, is that Ice? I said, yep. He goes, oh, fuck. I said, and he goes, you wrote that? I said, yeah. He goes, why did we use that for Powerful? I said, I played it for you, but you weren't feeling it. So I gave it to Ice-T. And so when I got that song back, dude, and I heard, because I'm a big fan of Sen and Cypress. I love Sen's fucking voice.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny, when we're working the studio together, I'm like, usually especially in the first record, not so much anymore because we have our sound, our style now.
Yeah.
But the first record, I'm watching the Jets and he's watching the Raiders, and we're just, partying in the studio. And I'm like, no, man, it's got to be more fucking groovy like your stuff. And he's like, no, it's got to be faster and heavier like your shit. And that was we were pulling each other's specialty out of each other, but opposite.
Yeah.
And that was like the birth of Powerflow. But when we worked with Jam Master Jay, it was really cool what he did. I love the song. I think it was great. And I remember we wrote the song, and Onyx was there in the studio with us, and we came up with the ideas, left them with the basic structure of the song. They did their stuff. They came up with all the verses, and we had to finish the song. So we redid all our tracks and wrote some new parts and put it together in Black Sabbath Studios in Birmingham, England. And we had like 3 days off, and we got into their studio. They let us use their studio. And bro, we were like, for 2 days we were partying. We were like, holy shit, we're fucking partying in Black Sabbath's fucking studio. It was amazing, bro. And then we get a phone call. Hey, you guys got to leave a little early because Tony's got a new song he wants to work on. We're like, what? Fuck. We were just fucking around. We weren't even working.
Yeah.
We were just pissing away record label money. And then we're like, all right, now we got to fucking put the dough on the grind. So we started working, and we banged up the song real quick, and we were done.
Yeah. And you must have been like, hey, do you think I could hang around and watch fucking hang out with when Mr. Iommi's working on his new jam here? Fuck.
I know, man.
That'd be awesome to be a fly on the wall for that type of session. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember we did one record in LA with this good friend of mine, Ed Stasium, our producer, and Rolling Stones were doing a record in another studio, in the same building, but in the main room. We were in like the Dirty Kid studio.
Yeah.
So the big main room is where it was called A&M Studios, and when we were like a long time ago, they had this famous "We Are the World." It was called. It was a famous song where they had every pop singer and musician sing the song, and all the food went to feed the hunger.
That was on
MTV.
MTV relentlessly when we were kids.
Yeah. So that studio was where we were at. We did our drums there. A record called "Save the World Address," the Biohazard record. And then to do overdubs, we went to another studio, which wasn't as expensive, and it was a little bit smaller and fit our needs better. And when we did, the Rolling Stones came in the big room, and we were just like, "What the fuck? The Rolling Stones, fucking amazing!" And our producer Ed Stasium worked with Mick Jagger on a couple of the solo records, so they were tight. They knew each other.
Yeah.
So we would go in there and not hang out with them, but we met them. They were fucking super fucking cool. But I remember going to the studios and listening to what they were working on, and there was faxes on the wall because Mick would work during the day and Keith Richards would work at night. But they only communicated through fax. Like Keith would work at night. Mick would come in the next day and he'd write notes or fax. I remember for some reason it was fax. They would fax information back from their pads. They would fax the studio and say, "Oh, okay, I listened to what you did last night. Change this. I like this better. Do that." And that's how they communicated. And we were like, "Whoa, it's fucking." Because I'm sure that times they were in the studio together, but while we were there, they would just work separate schedules.
Yeah. So crazy. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I love, like the process, and that's why I said I love watching those documentaries that show like bands and their processes, because everything's so individualistic and unique to each kind of fucking band. It's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
So I have
like 2 years ago, I brought my father for his birthday to go see the Rolling Stones. They played out here at the Gillette Stadium, and man, them dudes still put on a fucking 2-hour show and do not stop and still put it out there, man. Sound tight as fuck, it's crazy. Those dudes are professional, man. Fucking legit,
I know, man. I want to see them, and fucking they're still killing it. They're in their 70s, bro.
Yeah, it's bananas. And their setup is so big because some of our boys work on the stage crew. They have 2 of the exact same huge stage setup because, like, while they're playing one show, the crew's ahead at the next, arena setting up over there. You know what I mean? Because it's so massive that they got to have 2 of them. It's fucking bonkers, dude. Hello?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear
me? Yeah.
My dog was just
making a guest appearance.
Dude, you walk by the house, just your shoes alone on the fucking sidewalk. He fucking barks and howls at you.
What kind of dog?
He's a rescue, but he's mostly, he looks like a fucking Labrador.
Okay.
He's probably about 35 pounds. I'll probably go to about 40. But he's definitely got some kind of honey blood. And then my wife did a DNA test thing. I'm like, listen, that's bullshit. But it came back like he was like 52% pit bull. We're like, what?
Yeah,
they didn't say anything about pit bull. But he's a great dog. He definitely got some Labrador in him.
Yeah, nice.
He's a retriever for sure. Like he sees animals and he points. His tail gets straight. His nose there. He's got the stance. And I'm like, you're a puppy. How did you learn that shit?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like just genetics and dogs and like different breeds and how they have different characteristics. And it's like, I have a German Shepherd and he has every one of the fucking German Shepherd characteristics. It's like, wasn't taught that, like, and I got a old English bulldog and she's got all the bulldog characteristics, and it's just funny, man. Like the shit that's in us innately from, I don't know if it's a genetic memory or some bullshit, you know what I mean? But it's there. You're born with it.
Yep. My kids are super musical. They're really talented. And it's got to come from the family. My brothers are all musicians. My mom was. My father he's a scientist, but he played clarinet. Grandfather, uncle, accomplished piano players. And it's genetic. It passes down. And the same thing with animals. They know cats, a little kitten, you just wave your finger in cat litter and that's it. They go and they know where to go. They do their shit. This is a good dude here. Prince.
But that's cool that it's a musical family. What do your kids? What do they play or what are they into?
Everything. My daughter's amazing. Both the kids sing incredibly well. They have like perfect pitch. But my daughter has a band, plays guitar, a little bit of piano, but mostly singing and guitar. She plays drums too. She's fucking awesome. And my son is killing it on piano, but he also plays cello and trumpet.
Nice.
And pretty solid on drum kit too.
Yeah, that's cool. You guys should do like a 2021 version of the Partridge Family, man. Take that act out on the road.
It's the Brazilian family that we're friends with, and they do that. They're all musicians, and they have like in their living room is their jam room, and they fucking jam all the time, bro. It's fucking hilarious.
That's awesome.
It's great. They have a blast. They're super close, but yeah, my kids. It was pretty cool. My daughter liked it. Like, she jams at my place, my studio, and her and her girlfriends get together and they have a good time and they love it. My son hasn't jammed yet with anybody. He's more into writing songs. He's really good at it.
That's awesome, man. And it's cool because, you know, like you can help foster that and facilitate it and let them grow at their, you know, into whatever they're into. But you can help with, you know, any stage of that. Like, you know what I mean? So it must be some good bonding stuff for you guys, you know?
Yeah, 100%, dude. You know, do you have kids?
Nah, no. That's why I can work so much.
You got freedom. I know.
Yeah, you know, I'll regret it when I'm older and I die alone in a nursing home. But for now, you know, I'm just fucking out there rolling.
You know, if I'm around, I'll come visit you, brother.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. We'll do some shit. I'm just waiting for where I'm old enough where I can just I can go out and be an asshole and just blame it on Alzheimer's. You know what I mean? But fucking, what else going on, man? Like, I know you always kind of get your hand in multiple baskets, and you've already talked about a bunch going on. But is anything else you're working on, like just side stuff or collaborations that you got in the works?
Yeah, I mentioned the Patreon thing. That is a new creative outlet for me that I really fucking like. A friend of mine, I was doing a podcast with him, and we were talking about different hustles in the music industry because COVID was shut down and everybody was done making records and touring. And he told me about his Patreon. I'm like, fuck that shit. It's like a money grab. I've never been about exploiting my fans.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, man, it's not like that. And he explained it to me. He goes, just give it a chance. So I gave it a chance. I looked into it and I was like, wow, this is fucking badass. It's kind of like having a party, you know, like, it's funny because when I tell the West Coast people, they don't get it, but East Coast, it's like a Thanksgiving dinner when you're a little kid. There's a big table with adults and there's a small table for the kids.
Yeah.
And when you hit different families, different ages, but maybe 10, 11, 12, you start sitting at the adult table. But until then, you're cracking jokes and, you know, throwing peas at your brother, your cousin, at the kids' table. I look at it like having a party at my house. Hey, my dog, if he doesn't like the way I'm scratching him, he'll try to nip me.
Oh.
He's like, yo, I don't like it. I'm done.
I ain't down with that.
Yeah. So Patreon is kind of like, it's like I'm cooking up food, and every time it's a different meal, and I invite a bunch of friends over, and they all sit at the table with me, and we just talk shit about my dinner, what I created, what I did last week, what I'm doing next week. And that's how I look at it as Patreon. It's kind of like, it's made for the people who come and see you, and they go right to the front of the barricade. They're the ones who are in front that point at you and say, "Hey, your nose is bleeding," or you sneeze and you got a fucking goober hanging on your fucking chin.
Yeah.
It's that part of the family because everybody's all cool, but not everybody's into learning, you know, to following you on the creative journey. But I took it a whole different level, and I was writing a book for years called Tales from the Hard Side. It was all about my stories I've collected along the way, from touring with Ozzy to Agnostic Front to having Pete Steele come up with the Biohazard name. So all that stuff is real, and I wrote for years, and I just started making these videos, and I called it series called. It's not like a podcast, it's more like a visual storytelling, spoken word, where I just tell stories. And they evolve. Sometimes they go off on tangents, but they're all based around the same story. And there are all these different series, and I'm up to like 50 or so episodes. And it's fucking awesome. Stories, you know, like I mentioned, all these different interesting times in my career.
That's cool. So are you doing that now instead of writing the book, or are you still going to write the book?
Well, who knows? Because I was trying to write the book, and I talked to this guy, John Wiederhorn. He's a big, famous writer, friend of mine, helped Roger with his book.
Yeah.
Great dude. We talked about it, but during the pandemic, I was super prolific, and it just kept, you know, writing from Powerflow to BillyBio, and a bunch of other bands I write for and produce. So, and this just came out of that pandemic era of creativity. and I call the pandemic for me, it's called remission. It was like I was kind of like not active, but I was super like it was like everything was fermenting inside, and when it started to come out, I let it come out, and now I got all this stuff I'm ready to release. So the Patreon, I'm super creative with it, with for not just the stories, but it's sharing the creativity, like the making of the song, and it's all real footage of me just writing a song from scratch. And now it's a fucking single. Tomorrow I drop a video for it.
Fuck
so
yeah, man.
Most people see the end result. They see the video and then they get the record or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, cool song." They don't know the story behind it,
Yeah, so it's a way you're letting the fans that are like the most invested fans, kind of get in a little deeper and see a little more of the process and get a little more of the inside scoop of the stuff. That's fucking rad, man. And
even like the title of the record, like I was I had a bunch of titles that I was tooling around with in my head. I took a poll, so a lot of people to participate in things like that. Like picking singles tonight. Actually, right now, wow, they all get this video before everybody else gets it.
Okay,
it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm fucking Metallica, but the people that support me, Prince, you're gonna fall off the couch. Come here. When I scratch him, he gets all relaxed.
Yeah.
And then he starts to fall off the couch.
Would you say his name's Prince?
Prince, the kid's name, but yeah,
nice.
But it's cool.
Nice, fuck yeah.
I'm like, can we call him fucking Bruno? Come on, that's a dog. Like, no, we like Prince. I'm like, all right,
yeah.
It doesn't suit him because you are Bruno, dude. I'm gonna call you Bruno.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I have a Patreon for the podcast as well, and it's true, man. And it's almost humbling. I feel like to have that, like, where there's people that are into what you're doing enough to kind of just support it at that level. You know what I mean? And it's rad to be able to give back to those people for sure.
You know what? So you understand what it is. That is so right, dude. It feels like humbling in the sense that, like, I remove all of, like, because we're talking directly. You know what I mean? There's a few people. I have a couple tiers where we write music together, and I teach them some of the techniques I picked up over the years. So they see a lot of the inner workings of my creativity, but I'm also showing it to them as a friend, not like this dude in a spotlight that some record company says, some magazine puts you on a pedestal. I've never been about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it gets way more personal, and I like that,
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. And no, it's cool because I've had people that are on my Patreon like come out to the shop and shit. You know what I mean? It's fucking rad. It's like and then it's like you become like legit like friends with these people.
Yep.
And it's fucking cool. Yeah, man. Well, fuck, dude. Like, what's since you brought up Tales from the Hard Side, man, what you gotta lace me a little bit with one. Like, what's one of your favorite memories or one of the craziest ones? Or not me, but the listeners here, you know what I mean? So what's one that you particularly enjoy talking about?
There's something crazy just happened too, because I told the story about, it's a true story that happened, and out of respect for my buddy, because he called me up, he goes, bro, I've been hearing from some friends that you tell this story, and it kind of makes you look fucking like a herb. I'm like, but it's true, dude. It's what happened. So I'm not going to go there, but it just happened. Like, he called me up last night. But there's a bunch of stories, and they're all equally entertaining and stunning and fun, and great to hear. It's like that, I'm not the old dude at the bar that swipes over his drink saying, back in the old days, but they're fucking entertaining stories.
Yeah.
So one I'll hit you with is, there's a story I tell about how I almost fucking knocked out Lars Ulrich. He dissed me at a club in front of my homeboys, and my boys are like, yo, you don't know him. He fucking dissed you. I'm like, yeah, fuck that motherfucker. He knows me. I ran up to him, and I'll finish. If you want to know how it ended, you can go on my Patreon. I'll leave it at that. It's a little advertisement, but the story is awesome, dude. It's a funny story.
Yeah. What was this? Was this back in the day, like in the early days of Biohazard, or like what was the time frame?
late 90s.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. And then I tell a story about like Life of Agony guys, Pete Steele naming Biohazard, telling us that we should use the logo. You guys should just use the symbol. Don't use the name. Just the symbol.
See, you would have beat Prince. You would have beat Prince to that.
I know. We wouldn't have got anywhere because Prince had money to be able to say artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
You know, we could be like those fucking 4 douchebags that hang out at Lemoore every Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
This is their band. It's a symbol. You're like, who the fuck is that?
It's crazy, man. Like people, you know, and I don't fully know the depths of it either, but I don't think people understand the depths of influence that Peter Steele had on like fucking hardcore, New York hardcore and metal in the 80s and 90s, you know? Like he was involved in a lot.
Yeah, dude.
And
yeah. He was, man. We did a couple songs with him over the years, and you know, it was sad to see him go.
Yeah,
real sad.
Absolutely. Because you wonder what else because you know that motherfucker had a lot more brewing that would have came out, man. You know,
100%, bro. He yeah.
He did. But before we and not to go down like a sad road here, but like but just going back to your Patreon real quick, what is your Patreon address? And I'll make sure I put it in the show notes because you made it sound very interesting. I'm sure there's going to be people that want to get involved. What was is it just BillyBio?
Patreon.com/BillyBiohazard.
Yeah.
So all my socials is Billy Biohazard. I had a band with one of the girls from Kitty called Suicide City. And it was like after Biohazard was over for a bit, and I was done with it. I wasn't into I did everything I wanted to do with Biohazard, and I was moving on. So I wanted to do something different and something new for me. And I stopped talking about Biohazard. I didn't let anybody, like, you couldn't mention Biohazard in the press releases or all that shit. And it was kind of like, you know what? I worked my ass off to build up my name and to build up Biohazard. And so that's why now I accepted that's who I am.
Yeah.
I'm Billy from Biohazard. You know, I got a family, I got kids, I got a middle name and a last name, but people know me as Billy Biohazard. So that's how I go as. And obviously BillyBio is an offshoot of that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, I get it. And, you know, and I think that's a natural part of the process, man, because that was such a big part of your life for so long. I think it was natural that you had to kind of step away and kind of clear it out before you could embrace it again, you know?
Yeah.
And process it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
I realized who I was and what I was about, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So there's no date on the new Powerflow record. Your solo's in March, and then is there a tentative date on the Powerflow, or are you just kind of waiting?
No. The way it works, I mean, I know what's going, you know, the time frame.
Yeah.
But until it's done.
You're still wrapping it up.
Still wrapping. I'm waiting on Christian. Hopefully that's funny. We're doing this podcast. This is not going to show up. So I'm talking about a video that comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But by the time this comes out, this is going to be, it came out last month.
No. This will come out. This will come out either this Wednesday or next Wednesday. So it'll still be super relevant. Yeah, it'll still be super new. If it's out, it'll either be out for a day or like a week. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
So just for posterity, so people understand, we're recording this on what is it, the 29th today?
So November 29th.
Yeah. So November 29th. So comes out tomorrow, and then if you hear this on the 1st or the 8th or something, then just go look it up. I'm sure you'll have it posted up on all your social medias and everything, right? Obviously.
Yeah, there's links I post it all the time with the video links.
What's the name?
Check it out.
What's the name of the track?
Song is called "One Life to Live."
Okay, and it's featuring Toby from H2O.
Yep.
Cool. What are some of the other? Who else you got doing guest spots on the record? Or do you not want to say? Yeah.
No, it's all right. It's not like some big secret.
Yeah.
Not many, man. COVID was really tough. I had a lot of people I wanted to work with, but Robbie from The Exploited, laid a track.
Nice.
My buddy Dan played bass on some stuff. And that's it, Toby. Just Toby.
Exploited.
Even Sen Dog.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Even Sen, I didn't get to do anything with Sen. All the time we spent together was working on Powerflow, so it would have been cool. But to have him guest on something that's kind of like Powerflow anyway. So.
Yeah. I get it. That was Exploited was actually my second, punk or hardcore show ever. Back when they weren't very well liked in Boston because they had that song Dead Cities and it was on like a live record and they're like, this one goes out to Boston. It's called Dead Cities. And Slapshot was making those shirts that said with Waddy with a cross on it, the sniper scope on it said Punk's Dead, You Next and all that. But still a good show. It was a guilty pleasure at that time. You know, any kid got into especially back then, there wasn't as like, think about it, right? Like when we were first getting into like punk and hardcore and metal, there was not the sheer volume of music that there is now.
No,
like you could own most of what was out there. You know what I mean, or like be exposed to most of what was out there. Now, now these styles of music have a fucking 40-year history. You know what I mean, and that many bands over the years, and so many different offshoots and subgenres now. It's really weird to think about, you know? Because think about, like, it always bugs me out. Like, if I think about stuff that even was a little before my time that came out, like, in the early 80s, like, that stuff is, like, when we were kids was, like weird jazz music. Like, you know what I mean? Like super oldie shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the timeline, like in the late like in like 1989, 40 years before that was like 1949. You know what I mean? And like, think about the music of 1949. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking
crazy. And it's exponentially. We grow off the shoulders of giants that stood before us. And that's what happens. So think about how much music is going to be out there in 10 years.
Yeah,
now.
Exactly, man.
And with people with the ability to record and make music on your laptop and in your bedroom, that's another reason. So, and anybody can load their shit up to fucking TikTok, to Apple Music, to Spotify. And with that, all you got to do is get up there. If it happens to hit, like Billie Eilish, that homegirl started on fucking TikTok.
Yeah.
And she was, or YouTube, I can't remember, some social media, and she was popular. So she started doing music and people liked it, and then bam.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
So
think about when we were teenagers, if we had the ability to record a song in our bedroom and get it out to the world, like literally 35 seconds after you were done recording it. Like, you can have it out to the fucking world. That's bananas, dude. It's so bananas. It's fucking crazy. Like, all you gotta do is hit boop, upload, fucking gone, send it out into the fucking world.
That's why these cats, the fucking all the mumble rappers and the hip hop stuff, or trap rap, whatever they call it. They're so fucking big and popular, and the sole reason is because it's one dude who makes the decision, one dude who says yes or no to a deal, one dude they got to fly to fucking make just do his one or two songs at a club, and it's so easy. Yeah. And the hustle it's just like everything is on point. You don't have to deal with egos in a band with some guys like, yeah, I don't like that idea. Why not? I don't know. You got anything better? Nope. Ego shit.
Yeah,
you don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so much that the music's good, because it's not.
Yeah.
There's some catchy shit, catchy as fuck. And they say some funny shit. But for reality, it all sounds. I know I sound like the old man.
No,
it all sounds the same.
Yeah. No, it's crazy, man. It's a weird evolving thing, and it's like you gotta stay in it, or because like imagine like if you just like shut off from the world for 3 years and came back, like how much shit would be different? Because like things seem to be just not even talking about music, but just technology is evolving, and like it seems like the pace is just picking up very exponentially, and like like what the fuck is shit gonna look like 10 years from now? What the shit, not even like what's gonna look like 5 years from now? It's fucking bananas. Like, never mind when all the AI shit starts coming online, which they're saying could be in the next 5 to 10 years. You know what I mean? Realistically.
Yeah, dude.
Like, fuck. I mean, that's stuff that's beyond my pay grade to even think about, but you know, it's going to be something we all have to deal with, you know?
Yeah. That's a whole other scary thing, dude. That shit is, because you know it's going to be used as weaponry, number one.
Oh yeah.
And two, it's going to put out a lot of people out of work, so there's going to be a lot more free time, and it's also going to make things a lot cheaper. So it's going to be weird. I think it's going to be a big change to our society.
Yeah.
And that's already been changed enough, you know?
I know. Well, there's maybe this fucking keeping people home for a year was a dry run to be like, all right, dude, this is what's coming up when no one has jobs because it's all been fucking taken over by fucking robots. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah. Yep.
And right now, some motherfuckers laughing, being, what are these fucking fools talking about? And then play the long game, dude. It's like, it could be within our lifetime. Some of it, not always, not full automation of shit, but like, you're going to see less and less fucking jobs available. It's scary to me to think that all the transportation might be automated, you know, like because of how fast like the self-driving cars and trucks and stuff are. Like, they're already like testing them on like fucking real roads. You know what I mean? That's fucking nuts, dude.
Yep.
Like, fucking, imagine you're driving and you look over and see this fucking truck with nobody driving.
I know. It's crazy, dude. It's scary and crazy and inspiring, and you know, it's all in one thing.
The problem is that it should be inspiring 100%, but we all know the shittiness of like humanity and corporate greed, and you know it's going to be, you know, some of the shit's going to be a little nefarious, you know what I mean? Like, there's no getting around it, dude. That's what sucks, you know? It's just like,
that was just,
I don't know, man. Well, I know you probably got a lot going on, dude, and I don't want to keep you too long here. I definitely want to do another. Oh, go ahead.
We made it, dude. No technical glitches.
No glitches, man. So like I said earlier, we tried, this is the third time. Like, we got like 20, 25 minutes in the first two times. And
and I talked about totally different shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I might have to put the glitchy ones on Patreon just for the Patreon people and be like, so you can just hear little glimpses of some of the other shit we talked about. That's why I kind of wanted to wait a little bit in between. Cause it's like, you know, it would feel like I didn't want it to go like to be a rehash of like the first 15 minutes, like the first couple, like it's long enough is gone where it's almost like a reset, you know? Fucking.
Yeah. And a lot of change. I forgot new record coming out. I couldn't talk about that before.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, you want, here's another fucking crazy thing, dude. Somebody leaked my record and forced me to put it out, put up the news sooner.
Really? They leaked the record or the news of the record?
A girl put up a video of one of my songs.
Oh yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, you talked about that a little earlier when the song that you had
Oh. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't know if I told you.
No, yeah, that fucking sucks. Like, she didn't do it on purpose, right? She was just overeager. Or what?
She wasn't. It wasn't malicious. at all.
Yeah.
She meant well. So overeager. Like, I you know, some people like, it's not music. I'm not sharing the music. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
It's a video of me playing you a song. They hear the music.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. It was, you know, but it's all good.
Yeah. So it just kind of forced you to up the date.
Yeah, I had to rush and scramble and, you know, put together. The label was pissed, but they were like, let's turn it around. I got somebody. This company, the dudes in Goals Call magazine shared it out, put it out. So I turned it around a little bit and made it, you know, turned the negative into something positive. So
yeah,
cool.
Man. Well, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it sucks, but like you said, as long as you can adapt and overcome, that's what you do. Yeah. That's what you do, right?
It's easy. It's easy to fucking spend the money when you win the lottery. The hard part is winning the lottery and losing the lottery ticket and figuring out how to turn that into an opportunity. You know,
exactly.
So we can all celebrate the wins. Nobody sees the pile of losses that you're standing, you know, in front of.
Yeah, exactly, man.
You know?
Yeah, and unfortunately, and you know, and that's what that's the character shit that defines people with longevity in the game. You know what I mean? Like the shit that's when you do something that you love, you stick with it, you know, whether it's fucking easy or not. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of times I want to throw in the towel in over here, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. You know what I mean? You get pissed off for like a night and you regroup, and then you're like, come back the next day with a new plan of attack or whatever. Or, you know, like you said, like shit got released early. All right, fuck. You could have just dwelled on that and been like, fuck this, blah, 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 and got pissed. But, you know, you regrouped and fucking spinned it into what you wanted it to be, you know what I mean? Or the best outcome for it, you know what I mean? And that's the shit people got to do in life, man. You know what I mean? Don't be a victim. You know what I mean? Fucking take control of the situation and put it how you want it, you know? But dude, we gotta do one of these in person. It's way easier in person, like in funner. Like it's good on the phone, man. It was an awesome podcast. I'm not saying that, but it's like I just love doing them in person so much better. When the world opens back up and we're traveling around more, we'll run into each other. You know what I mean? And we'll fucking go off and do one quick. But
100%, bro. I love talking always, but talking in person, it's so much more personal, and you know, because the body language is everything.
Absolutely,
you know? Especially East Coast kids, we talk with our hands.
Yeah, I know. I like the whole time I've been like motioning and stuff, and I'm like, no one's seeing this. I'm looking at my hand right now as I'm talking. I'm like, what am I even doing this for?
I know,
but
it's real. You know?
Especially, you know, I'm not Italian, but I know you're Italian. I know there's a lot of fucking hand fucking waving going on right now over there.
Yeah.
But fuck yeah, man. Well, I'm going to, this will come out either Wednesday or next Wednesday. I'm going to put all the links in there. Everyone fucking, dude, you have such a mammoth discography. But you know, go to Billy's sites and check out what he's got going on. Support the new shit. If you're not familiar with the old shit, go back and research it and dig it up and find it, because it's just the beauty of things nowadays is everything's still available and you can find it in one format or another. But make sure you buy some vinyl. And are you doing any on different like vinyl colorways and stuff? Are you doing some of that? I know vinyl's fucking tough sometimes now with fucking printing presses being backed up and shit. Yeah,
it's crazy, dude. It's like fucking 8 months back up. But yeah, we did some cool colors and some cool collectible limited edition stuff. That's what's available now. And then you can pre-order it and pre-reserve your stuff. But it's pretty dope. I'm pretty happy, really happy with it, especially the label I'm with.
Fuck yeah. Who are you working with now for a label?
Same label I've been on for a while. It's called Believe.
Okay.
They're just running shit in Europe, worldwide. But my imprint is called AFM.
Nice.
Pretty badass.
Fuck
but
yeah,
dude,
man.
100%, man. I love to talk to you anytime, and I want to see your shop and maybe get a tattoo removed.
Yeah.
I got a few names that were covered up a few times.
Just starting to peek through, or but fuck yeah.
I don't care. I you know, like I like, you know, it's kind of like the tree. You know, you cut the tree down, you see all the rings and see how old it is, and you can tell if it's a rough winter or a bad winter.
Yeah.
Our tattoos are they kind of like put a stamp of time, and a rite of passage in a lot of ways. And it shows us who we are, you know?
Absolutely.
So
man.
I'm okay with them.
Fuck yeah.
I know a couple buddies of mine. I remember Bobby got Biohazard tattooed on his lip, spelt wrong, and Evan spelled one of our records wrong.
But, you know, that's more funny to, like, you know, just fucking keep that, you know, that's character shit, you know?
Yeah.
But fuck yeah, man. Yeah, come out. I'll come to the bike. We'll come hang out at the bike shop, dude, and I'll get you hooked on motorcycling if you're not already, you know, and we'll go fucking whip around. But
awesome, bro.
Fuck yeah, man. I hope to run into you, man. I hope you guys are on tour soon so I can come see you and fucking you know, I'm out that way. Sometimes I'll give you a call, you know, fucking.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome. We'll grab lunch.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it was good catching up. I'm gonna shut this off, but I'm not hanging up. Hold on 1 second here.
You love podcasts, the stories, the laughs, the unexpected turns. But when this episode ends, the silence starts. Not anymore. Audiobooks.com turns that silence into your next great adventure. With over 450,000 titles, from bestsellers to hidden gems, your love for listening just found its new best friend. And because you already know the joy of audio, we're giving you 3 free audiobooks to start your journey. Imagine your favorite podcast, now with unlimited episodes. That's audiobooks.com. Keep the story going. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. Because for podcast lovers like you, the end of an episode is just the beginning. That's audiobooks.com/podcastFREE.